Fast and Furious, a franchise that is now 11 movies in and has gotten far away from just being about races. Let's be real, y'all, it hasn't been about racing since Tokyo Drift. At this point, Dom is wrecking his cars to save others and defying physics in damn near every movie. I can't be the only one who laughs every single time in 7 when Dom goes full earthbender and top stomps the pavement to get Shaw underneath the garage. Hilarious. Listen, I love that part. At this point, the franchise has gotten beyond outrageous, so it's not unlikely that they don't have more twists up their sleeve. And what I've been thinking about for a while is this one, the title of the video. Yes, you see the title, and I know some are already going to disagree and go ham in the comments about this, and I get it. But just remember, it's just a theory, just how I feel, but you let me know what you think. Because there's something odd about Fast 9 in those flashbacks. We get to see Dom's dad for the first time. He'd been mentioned in Fast 5, and there's a photo of him in the first Fast and Furious, but this is the first time we actually see Jack Toretto on screen. But what's so odd about it? Well, the fact that we never see or even get a mention of who Miss Toretto is at all. There is no mention of Mrs. Toretto. Do Dom, Mia, and Jacob even know who their mother was? We meet Jacob in Fast 9. Brian is technically Dom's brother through marriage to Mia. Jack Toretto is introduced in 9. Dom has Lil B with Elena and gets married to Letty. Mia and Brian have a son and daughter. And hell, we even meet Dom's cousin, Tony, in the Netflix series. This franchise revolves around family, and somehow, some way, we don't get to know the matriarch of the family tree. So you know what? I've got a theory here. I believe it's possible that Queenie Shaw is Miss Toretto. I know, it sounds really crazy. They have a few scenes that seem a little borderline, especially in 8, but I think it's more of like a mother-son, game respect game type of relationship. But this move will connect the Shaws to the Torettos and bring them even closer to the family by blood. Okay, so I know you're asking me, why? Why would you be thinking this? Well, I've got 5 reasons why I believe that Magdalene Shaw, aka Queenie, could potentially be Mrs. Toretto. But before I give those reasons, be sure to give this video a like as it helps me gain traction in the algorithm. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, you guys, and let me briefly touch on something before we dive in. Let's talk about the fact that when Dom first meets Queenie, it does seem like a first meeting, but let me briefly touch on the scene where they first meet because it's 100% possible that Queenie could have either been playing dumb or it could have been a retcon. I don't think Darth Vader was Luke's father in the original Star Wars, so it's not unlikely that it's possibly a retcon, or maybe she's just faking it, putting on, so Dom doesn't know. Okay, let's get into my first reason behind this theory. My first one, I've already touched on a lot of this, but reason number 1 is that the franchise never mentions Miss Toretto. In F9, we see Jack Toretto meet his tragic end in an explosion during a car race. This was mentioned in the first movie, The Fast and the Furious, and finally shown to us in the film through a flashback. And through all this tragedy, I couldn't help but wonder, where the heck is Miss Toretto in all this? This event shook Dom and Jacob for their entire lives, and you mean to tell me their mother wasn't there to help them out? Knowing how big of a criminal Queenie is, it wouldn't surprise me if during this time she committed a crime and was on the run, or potentially behind bars at the time. We've seen her behind bars in Hobbs and Shaw, so who knows? Maybe it's possible that earlier she could have been behind bars, or like I said, on the run. It seems totally possible to me. An easy explanation is something like this, but let's move on to reason number 2. Number 2, the franchise is all about family, baby. The familia, listen, that is all this is about. And hey, even family that's not blood is always part of the familia. But it took us 9 movies to introduce Jacob, Dom and Mia's secret brother, who was never once mentioned in the franchise at all, not even alluded to in the first one. Would it be that far of a stretch to not reveal Dom's mother until the last movie and reveal a twist that it was Queenie the entire time? With all the familial connections that keep getting revealed movie after movie, especially in X, is it that big of a stretch? This isn't a spoiler for Fast X, I promise. But there are some family connections in the new Fast movies, so just wouldn't surprise me if most of these people ended up being related, honestly. And obviously some of the characters aren't related by blood, and the familia is comprised of many different members, but it just seems like it could be this funny, weird coincidence that Dom went head to head with his brother in Fast 7. I don't know. Reason number 3, Queenie and Dom already have a mother and daughter like relationship. Okay, so I know I'm gonna get raked over the coals for this one because people take that scene for Fast 8 when Dom was kind of getting a little close to Queenie, and I know it maybe seems a little odd, but I do think for the most part there's more of a mother-daughter like relationship between the two of them. I think it's possible that Queenie feels intense guilt for what happened between her and Jack Toretto, for the tragedy that happened, for not being there for Dom and Jacob and Mia. I just feel like there's a possibility that maybe she ran away from this life and started a new one as Queenie Shaw, and maybe because of that guilt, because of her life of crime, she keeps the fact that Dom, Mia, and Jacob are her children a secret. So maybe she goes along with some things, but I just don't see it as anything other than a friendship between the two of them, that relationship. Also, this isn't a reason, but weird side tangent. Both Dom and Deckard are bald. They got some similar head shapes. Listen, Vin Diesel and Jason Statham, they just look a little bit similar in that bald head. Like, you see that bald head, and them bald heads look a little bit like the same shape. It wouldn't be crazy if one of Dom's brothers was a villain of the franchise. Not once, not twice, but 3 times in 6, 7, and 9. Okay, I'm going on a little bit of side tangent too long. All I'm trying to say with this point is that Dom and Queenie maintain a good friendship throughout the franchise, and it feels like a mother and son relationship. Also, when Dom contacts her in Fast 9, she has info on Jacob. Is it possible that she keeps track of all of her kids, even without them knowing? Moving on to my 4th and penultimate point. Number 4, Queenie is a pro driver, thief, and much more. Many of Dom's crew are neither Toretto nor Shaw, and they're great drivers. So what makes Queenie being a good driver so important in this context? Well, Dom Toretto is also a pro driver and a thief. Remember, in the first movie, The Fast and the Furious, they're stealing DVD players. His pro driving comes from his father, of course, but wouldn't it make even more sense if it came from both sides? Having both a mother and father that were pro drivers and thieves would make Dom a pro at both. And like I said, you know, he's stealing those DVDs in the first movie, and that really is a carbon copy of Point Break, isn't it? All right, y'all, now we're getting to the last point. Reason number 5. The franchise at this point is insane. What better way to add another twist than to reveal that Queenie Shaw is Dom Toretto's blood mother? Okay, I know this feels a little like a cop-out, but hear me out here. It goes without saying that this franchise has gotten more and more bizarre as time goes on. At this point, Dom is doing all kinds of superhuman-like stunts, and everybody in the Familia keeps surviving, so much so that they make so many jokes about it in F9 that it beats you over the head a little bit. But seriously, they even go to space at this point. Hell, the Fast X movie is the first of a trilogy to end this thing. What better way to end it than to have this crazy twist in the end that all along Queen was actually Dom's mother? I mean, why else doesn't Dom, Mia, Jacob, or anybody else in his family mention Miss Toretto? Give us one final big reveal. And it'd be even crazier if Jason Momoa's character was the one to reveal this to Dom. Maybe he takes Queenie hostage, and then he's like, hey, maybe you didn't know, she's your mother. And then that would be an even bigger twist, bigger reveal, be crazy. Whoa, Dom is half Toretto, half Shaw, holy smokes. Wow, the Torettos and the Shaws are connected. Holy crap. I don't think it's entirely out of the realm of possibility, even though I think this theory is crazy, and I'm going to get some hate for it, let's be real. But what do you think? Am I crazy for this theory? Just look at this still from Fast X. It looks like a mother tenderly touching her son's cheek. Come on, I'm not crazy, am I? But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and please let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What did you think about my theory, guys? I will be doing more what ifs, more theories here on the channel, so be sure to hit that bigger subscribe button if you're new. And guys, you can check out my review for Fast X and my review for Fast 9, very different reviews here on the channel, guys. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for coming through, and we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.